Black and the congregation sang for sure. Word back, this ain't no BET. This black entertainment that don't rerun what black used to be. Under black cottonwood where schemes emerge, shifting the minds of I and you through the who's who be dirge. No racial drafts or honorary blacks. We goody just the way you stack. No need to sample act to have my back. One can't redact in black or white, how what in fact is fact. All King James said it loud, your King James got the staffed. This geared towards every ear that hear and ties that turn. For every year of tears, for every cheek one unlocked. Blackberry pie, black terry burns. Good luck from black kitty cats, favorite color, favorite word. Black coffee or black tea served. With a pick of Kermit sipping, you get that read up on my buddy red. Blackberry pie, black terry birds. Good luck from black kitty cats, favorite color, favorite word. Black coffee or black tea served. With a pick of Kermit sipping, you get that read up on black culture.
What up? We live in here, baby. You already know what time it is.
I've been moving calm, I'm starting trouble. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. and cuddle with me. You know how I like it when you love it on me. I don't wanna die for them to miss me. say, do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mom, I'm sorry. 50 dub, I even got it tatted on me. 81, they'll bring the crashes to the party. And you know me, turn the 02 into the 03. Without 40 Ollie, there be no me. Imagine if I never met the broskies.
Now, tell me what you said. You said that you would come again. You said that we would remain friends, but you know that I do not depend on nothing or no one. So why would you show up so uninvited? Then just change my mind like that. Please don't take this personal. You ain't shit, and you weren't special.
I'm too planet in the crowd. Said it's sipping unrest, but you sleep so sound like you don't hear the screams when we catch you beat down. Stand quiet when they killing niggas, but you speak loud when we ride. Got opinions coming from a place of privilege, sicker than the COVID. How they did them on the ground. Speaking of the COVID, is it still going around? Won't you tell me about the looting? What's that really all about? Cause they throw away black lives like paper towels plus unemployment rate. What, 40 million now, killed a man in broad day. Might never see a trial. We just wanna break chains like slaves in the south. Started in the north end, but we in the downtown. Riot cops try to block, now we got a showdown. Down.
Two, one, 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 two. Check, check, check. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. 212. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Check 1 2. You hear me good? Everything good? Cool. What up, what up? Welcome to the Cxffeeblack. What is this, stream? Podcast? I'm used to saying podcast. What up to the Cxffeeblack Brew Up, the monthly brew up, where we bringing the culture together. We setting the foundations, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. We got HD3 on the beats right now, on the ones and twos. About to get some coffee going. I'm about to make myself a little V60, get the squad light baited, you know what I mean? We're going to get it popping right at 3:15. Got a couple of the homies running on CP time. They should be here at like 10, so we'll have some guests coming. We're going to be talking about cupping today. Cupping, picking a new Gucci, doing a performance of the song Cxffeeblack, which I'm pretty excited about, and a couple other things, man, that we're really glad to get to you. A big announcement toward the end, so stay tuned. Yeah, it's going to be lit, man. It's going to be lit. Y'all enjoy the sounds of HD3 beats. Make sure y'all go follow my guy on all the socials. HD3, that's HD, 3 slashes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I was nominated, never won a Grammy. But I understand, they'll never understand me. A lot of lives lost, but I never panicked. A lot of lines crossed, I never did a zany. 100-room mansion, but I felt abandoned. Love making love, but where will love land me?
What's up, y'all? It's DJ M3, HD3 holding it down on the ones and twos. Live stream starting soon. And y'all stay tuned.
Your desire to fire bullets that stray. Track a tire, just tell you I'm tired and ran away. I should ask a choir, what do you require to sing a song that acquire me to have faith that the record spin? I should pray. For the record, I recognize that I'm easily prey. I got 8 alive yesterday. I got animosity building. It's probably big, it's a building. Me jumping off of the roof. It's me just playing it safe. But what am I supposed to do when the topic is red or blue? And you understand that I ain't, but no, I'm accustomed to just a couple that look for trouble and live in the street with rank. No better picture the paint than me walking for Bible study and called his homies because he had said he noticed my face from a function that took place. They was wondering if I banged. Step on my neck and get blood on your Nike checks. I don't mind, cause one day you respect the good kid, Mad City. Last solution nation, baby. Give education, baby. Wanna reconnect with your elation. All I see is strobe lights blinding me in my hindsight, finding me by myself. Promise me you can help. In all honesty, I got time to be copacetic until you have finally made decision to hold me against my will. It was like a head-on collision that folded me standing still. I can never pick out the difference and grade a cop on the bill. Every time you clock in the morning, I feel you just wanna kill all my innocence while ignoring my purpose to persevere as a better person. I know you heard this and probably in fear, but what am I supposed to do when the blinking of red and blue flash from the top of your roof and your dog has to say roof and you ask, lift up your shirt cause you wonder if a tattoo of affiliation can make it a pleasure to put me through game files, but that don't matter because the matter is racial profile. I heard through chatter, he's probably young, but I know that he's down. Step on his neck as hard as your bullet movement. Look behind, you know we never respect the good kid, Mad City. That's a nation, baby. Education, baby. Wanna reconnect with your elation. This is your station, baby. 30, baby, won't you meet me by the beat? Too early, maybe later, you could show me things. You know what it is whenever I visit. Windy city, she blowing me kisses, no. 30 degrees, way too cold, so hold me tight. Will I see you at the show tonight? Will I see you at the show tonight? Hey. Truck to the plane, to the truck to the hotel lobby. Me, I go through underground garages, presidential suite on deposit, elevator up to the room, shower up and then we hit the club. Touchdown, gotta see what's up. Area code in my phone. What numbers do I still have? Who do I know from the past? Hit one, she say she got a. Hit another one, it goes green. Must've changed clothes on the team. Remember when you let me in between? That was 2017. All good, chuckle, look around. Find one to sing my type. Yeah, my dog and he knew what I like. He done found me plenty in my life. Problem is I meet a girl tonight. Then I go and treat her too nice. Galleria credit card swipes. I don't even know if she a wife. Zero bar, suicide door, brand new bag. College girls give in my eyes. Rockstar life, so much money, I'll make you laugh. Hey, 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 you can't miss what you know. Hey,
on the rag. In my pillow, got 2 carats, VVS. Got a penthouse in Rodeo off the stairs. All this money when I grew up, I had nothing. Feeling backstabbed, my whole life's disgusting. Gotta thank God that I'm living comfortably. Getting checks I don't believe, but she say she down with me. Burn some bridges and I let the fire light the way. Kicking my feet up, left the PJs on the PJ. Yeah, I'm a big dog and I walk around no leash. I got water on me, yeah, everything on feet.
Suicide door, brand new bag. College girls give me in my eyes. Rockstar life, so much money on it, you love, hey. Hey, you can't miss what you love. Hey, off the juice, got me tripping. Got the coupe, walk the roof is missing. Ice, lemonade, my neck was tripping. Ice, lemonade, my neck was tripping.
Baby, you don't wanna be a player no more. I was looking at the people with it every time I turned around. I had the players at the door. Now a nigga going beast mode with it. I got 15 beds, we ain't laying on the floor. 15 beds, I done hit a lot of free goals. Nigga get safe. Safe for you to say that I'm a hoe. I'm not the game, I'm not a player anymore. I got money in the bell out. Won't pull over, they know we gon' bail out. Drop the window, turn right, throw the scale out. Fuck you mean we don't ride with no scale now. We sell them bitches slow, we sell them bitches slow. I had them knocking at my door, I used to have them for the love. I never think I'm selling dope, never think I'm selling dope. I had the AC on there, when a young nigga had the burner in his coat. I hit a nigga with the fan. I was taking pictures with the fan. I can show you how to ride without the two. All the times I hit the middleman. All the times I took a nigga home. Nigga wanna be a boss. But they had what it took to be the boss. She didn't know what it took to be my bitch. I ain't know what it took until I lost. Baby, you don't wanna be a player no more. I was looking at the people with it every time I turned around. I had the players at the door. Now nigga going beast mode with it. I got 15 beds, we ain't laying on the floor. 15 beds, I done hit a lot of free goals. Nigga get safe. Safe for you to say that I'm a hoe. I'm out the game, I'm not a player anymore. I always be a pimp, not a player. I get it. I'm wiping all the bitches on my radar. Look, kids, Kurt. I'm always on the charts like I'm Drizzy. Kurt, right away I get you shot like the Wiz. Can't wait to do the show when I'm in Dallas. We be eating healthy on the loose, made a salad. I been getting money on the low, it's hard to hide it. But baby like fuck me on the floor, I let her ride it. It's off the top, I ever make a song and never write it. I'm a Grammy nominated hit, make a lame nigga bitch, take a fuck the police. You yelling with a gun on how the fuck we gon' think. You say my daughter daddy, how the fuck she gon' leak? I kill me a cop, what the fuck they gon' think? Probably hang on the tree. I'm dangerous, I keep a bang on me. Gotta drop down the sweat before I sleep. Lord, baby, you don't wanna be a player no more. I was looking at the people with it every time I turned around, I had the players at the door. Now nigga gon' beast mode with it. I got 15 beds, we ain't laying on the floor. 15 beds, I done hit a lot of free goals. Nigga get safe. Safe for you to say that I'm a hoe. I'm out the game, I'm not a player anymore. Baby, you don't wanna be a player no more. I was looking at the people with it every time I turned around, I had the players at the door.
I wake up feeling like you won't play right. I used to know, but now that don't feel right. It made me put away my pride. So long, you made a nigga wait for sun. So long, you make it horrible like that to go wrong. I'm wishing I can make this mine.
got the red hair on, gold hanging from her ears, melanin lady. She got a jig on strong. It's so good to be here with you. Somebody gonna fall in love tonight. And I hope we make sweet love tonight. God created you in the heavens just for me, just for me. And so long for a woman like you to make me feel so right. You shine in the sea of people. Oh, this moment so real. Melanin lady, covered in all white legs. You're the baddest in the play. So good, shorty. Somebody's gonna fall in love tonight. Let's lose ourselves in this second night tonight. I created you in the heavens just for me, just for me. Been waiting so long for a woman like you to make me feel so right. God created you in the heavens just for me, just for me. Been waiting so long for a woman like you to make me feel so right.
What up, 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 what up? How's everybody doing right now? Welcome to the first ever inaugural Brew Culture Brew Up. It's your boy Bartholomew Jones. I'm an MC, educator, and coffee nerd, CEO and founder of Cxffeeblack. You just heard the wonderful sounds of HD3 Beats, the greatest DJ on the planet. You got Daniel D. Meyer coming in hot real quick with some additional buttery vocals. We about to do the song that is the topic for today. We're going to be talking about kind of what is Cxffeeblack, some of the meaning behind it. And I've never really had a chance to unpack it. A lot of the vision and meaning behind what we're doing is actually back in the songs. And so each one of these for the next 12 months, we're going to be performing one song on the album. We'll go in chronological order. And by the end, my hope is we'll have an idea of some of the things I'm thinking about for what Black coffee culture can look like. And also we can build an idea of it together as we seek to kind of decolonize this space. So yeah, this is the title track, Cxffeeblack. After that, we're going to get into some cupping. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Go run that track HD3 whenever you are ready. Oh, we got a mystery coffee right now too. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So many places and faces I know. Yeah. I've been in stasis from ages ago. Yeah. So I wake up in the morning with my hands up, thanking God. Yeah. You know why? Listen. My coffee, black and bold. I'm ready to go. Yeah. My coffee's black and mild. I'm still alive. Can't kill me now. Yeah. It's too much sugar and too much cream. All the distractions, all of the world's gleam. Yeah, I see the glory before the seraphim, and they tell the story all the boys would never wanna be. See, I got a father, he put hope in me.
Hope in me.
But they wanna see me with clutch rope in me.
Rope in me.
I better grind, I got bolts in me. 365, never plagiarize the ghost in me. Jump my coffee, black and bold. Yes, it is, baby. Yeah, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready, yeah. Coffee, black and mild. Yes, it is, baby. See, when it's mild, they just want to leave you alive. You know what I mean? But they can't kill your boy. Yeah, my coffee, black and bold. Yeah, and it's beautiful, baby. Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go. My coffee's black and mild. Still I smile, baby. I'm staying alive. Yeah, got me my coffee black. The whole pot, God save the salt of the earth. The whole pot. What's better than death? A whole lot. What if I sever my breath? I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. Let's get into it, baby. Thank y'all for joining us for the first ever Coffee Black podcast. That's the title track off the Coffee Black album. That was Daniel Demeyer with me, produced by Thomas Egler, and with, of course, the DJing skills of my brother HD3. Listen. That song is the key to really understanding what we want to do with this whole process. I'm gonna break down the lyrics for y'all real quick. See, you might be wondering, well, why would you start coffee with hip hop? But the reality is culture, all cultures have a couple different elements. They have unique languages. They have unique cultural artifacts like ceramics or patterns, which is why we make apparel. And there's music. And so this music, especially in African cultures, is oftentimes the way the culture is communicated. It's where our values are communicated. And so we're communicating our values as we try to rebuild and rediscover what coffee could look like as a cultural element in the Black community. We want to start with music, right? So that song actually breaks down a lot of elements. And there's two lines, if you're rocking with me today, that you really need to catch, right? The first one is my coffee black and bold. I'm ready to go, right? And then we're gonna get into what exactly does that mean, but I want you to catch that progress comes from boldness, okay? And if I was preaching to you this morning, I'd say, repeat after me, you know what I mean? We're not gonna do all that, listen. But progress comes from boldness. There's a certain element that if your coffee is not bold or if your values are not clear, you're not going to be able to move forward. But what we found oftentimes is that as society tries to see this image of angry, visceral Black human beings who are always bold and burnt and bitter, right, that we often have to fall into this element to progress. But it also can cause us to lose our lives. And so that's why the next line, my coffee black and mild, right? If I chill my demeanor down a little bit, if I just tone it down, if I just hold my tongue, put a little sugar and cream in a cup, you know, it might make us a little bit more palatable. And yeah, we might not make as much progress, but at the same time, you keep your life. And that's true in coffee a lot of times, man. People want to see these really bold, bold is not a flavor characteristic, right? But people want to see these really bold flavor profiles, right? And a lot of times that's what people expect when they go to coffee, when they go to a cup, when they approach the cup, they just want to see something bold. But sometimes that can oftentimes make us lose some of the more subtle elements of coffee, right? But then when you go too far on the other side and you're just looking for a mild cup with no inherent notes, with no inherent uniqueness, with nothing that punches through, you kind of miss the value and the progress that we get when we pay attention to the uniqueness of each note. So we're trying to really meet nice in the middle, which is why our actual signature roast, Gucci Man, is an Ethiopian coffee. It's an African coffee, but we generally do a washed coffee. And if you don't know about washed coffees tend to be a little bit more subdued. And we try to pick ones that have a lot of acidity, a lot of flavor, but the goal here again is that we're trying to pick a coffee that kind of has the best of both worlds. It's bold, but it's not so bold that you can't tell what's going on and you'll get lost in confusion. You lose some of the more subtle elements. So we want to pick both of those. And I think that dichotomy is where a lot of black people live, and honestly, that's where we lived as a company. Like when we were starting out, people told us, yo, y'all can't be that unapologetically black, right? You can't be that unapologetically black and be accepted within the coffee world because it's white, it's colonized. And for us, we're like, yeah, but if we're not unapologetic, if we're not black and bold, there's no progress that's gonna be made. The status quo is gonna stay, it's gonna continue, right? And so we decided to be bold, but even in doing that, we still have to realize like there's a certain level of control you gotta have, right? You can't be out here just wilding, there's no discipline, then that progress that's being made turns into chaos. And so we're still trying to figure that out, right? Even this year, crazy announcement, we just broke 6 figures grossing for the year. So that's from January to September. That was last week actually. So thank y'all for all the support. It's crazy. The boldness has produced progress. But at the same time, as we've had all this growth happen, there's almost a feeling of being out of control. Like financially, there's so much growth coming in and there's so many expenses going out. I don't know if we're in a place where we can really make disciplined decisions. And so we are actually trying to focus on some people who really, really rock with us. Like we can have these conversations on Instagram with like the public, but you guys who are here, you gals who are here, you human beings who are here are the people who we really want to dial in with because listen, if you bought a Brew Culture subscription, that means the world to us. Like low key. Y'all know I used to teach. We have students right now who are hitting me up like, yo, Mr. Henderson, I don't want to sling no more. I don't want to be in the streets no more. Can we come work for your company? Subscriptions like what you all are doing literally make the difference between us being able to consistently guarantee a job opportunity or at least job training for the youth in our community. And that's what we're all about, is bringing our community through and forward globally through coffee and around coffee and across coffee. So that's what we're moving to. That's what we're trying to get to. And I'm just glad for y'all to be here. You know what I mean? So we're going to get into the next part of the brew up. The next portion of the brew up. And if you got comments coming in, I got my my situation set up on the side, so I'll check them out over here. But man, look, we about to get into something that I'm super excited about. And first off, the homies is here. Let me make sure all the homies is libated. HD, here you go, my G. Mystery Brew. I'm gonna tell you what it is. We'll reveal it at the end. What's up? Who else wants some? My guy? Bro, I already got you. Okay. Boom. There you go. There's one left. You and Julian got a fight. He pulled up late. But what's up? Yeah, Mystery Brew. Okay. Woo. Hood slurp. Okay. Hood slurp. Woo. Okay, cool. So I'm not gonna tell y'all what that is, but that's gonna be very important later when we start talking about embracing some of the elements of black and bold and black and mild at the same time. By the way, if you didn't grow up where I grew up, black and mild is not just a way to discuss coffee. It also is, you know, something to calm you down. You know what I mean? It's not a coffee element, but it is something that's grown from the ground. Let me check the comments real quick before we get into the cupping. We're about to decide on the brand new Gucci Man for the next 3 months. Okay, yeah. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to my guy Hamid in the comments. Shout out to Caffarella Entertainment. Young Baker in the building. Yeah, we all in here, family. So we about to get into a cupping. Now, this is educational, okay? We're going to do this again next month, so you'll have some time to kind of get your stuff. The homie put me on game. These are cupping bowls, okay? Can we switch to the overhead camera? Yep. Okay, I'm going to show y'all so y'all can kind of follow what we're doing right now. Boom. This is a cupping bowl. Now, A cupping bowl is basically a way to figure out what are the true elements of a coffee. Now, when we talk about being black and bold or black and mild, basically when you're trying to discern the notes of a coffee, you have to have something that isolates all the variables. This thing right here is dope because all it is ground coffee and water. So let's do this. Each one of these has 16 grams of coffee. That's how we do it. Like, this is how we do it over here at Coffee Black. 16 grams of coffee inside of this little bowl. I have the Encore. This is my grinder. And I have it set on 17 for the grind. This is our mystery coffee. If the homies like it, this is gonna be the coffee for the next 3 months. Funny story behind the coffee too. All right, let's grind. All right, that has been ground. We got the homies in the building. We got a live audience right now, so I'm gonna walk through some cupping education. Let's get a cupping expert who's been rocking with the cuppings for a minute. Kadarius, come on up, bro. You've been rocking with the cuppings for a minute. We've been doing these Friday cuppings. Actually, we're transitioning to Sunday cupping. So if you want to come to a cupping, you got to come to Sundays now. So we'll be over here. So this is the homie Kadarius. He been rocking with the cuppings for a minute. If you watch us on Instagram, you've seen him. So he's kind of an expert, right? Now let's get somebody who's never cupped before. Daniel has actually never made it to a cupping on time because he be on CP time. So Daniel, look, okay, so Daniel's gonna come up. He's gonna do a cupping with us. So you're gonna be right here, Kadarius. And then Daniel, you're gonna be on that side. Notice when you're cupping, everybody has 2 bowls. The homie put me on game. Shout out to the homie Matt Mages. If you go to your local Chinese store, you can find these small bowls like this one right here for $1, and they're really good for cupping. So check those out. We got the black joints I got from Amazon, but yeah, you want a small bowl and you want 2 of them. Now I'll show you why you want 2 of them in a minute. Okay. First things first. Take your coffee out. Tear it out. Boom, I'm doing 16. Okay, here we go. Getting there. 16.5. Oh no! Water overboard. Pass me a towel, please. Boom. Okay, 16.5. Let's do. Right there. It's close up. Let me know when you guys are measuring your coffee, if you care about these. I just get really nerdy and anal about having everything perfect. 16.9 is close enough. All right, boom, that's me. Let me see you. It's the homie KD. Let's tear it out. Okay, he needs 16. Boom. So close. I go back and forth on what's the best scale to use. HD, this the vibe right here. This the vibe. HD3 with the vibes. Woo. Hey, Devin Morrison been in the gym, y'all. He on the IG flexing on people. He's like, hey, bro, I've been getting it in. All right, boom. There you go, yo. Last but not least, Daniel, pass me yours. Boom. Yeah. Let's see what we looking like. Woo. I know, bro. I'm gonna take the hefty joint. Actually, this is your first time cupping, so you'll have a little bit more. Now, got all our water right here. The water's at 203. We're gonna add some water. And then we're gonna set a 4-minute timer. The goal is just to basically fill it up to the top. All right, and then KD, since you've done this before, you want to pour the rest of them? All right, boom. The kettle that we're using is a Stag kettle. It's the Fellow Stag. I like it, but really you could do a cupping with just a regular kettle. You know what I mean? You don't need to. This was like 150. You don't need to drop a $150 on a kettle. You know what I mean? This is really something anybody should be able to do if you have a bowl and hot water and a coffee grinder. So put that back in there. Barista training says I should be wiping the table down since I'm not doing anything. But let me know, have you all ever done a cupping before? If you're in the comments, have you ever participated in the cupping? Boom. We're going to put that back right there. Start a 4-minute timer, which let me grab this. You got a phone on you? Boom. Yeah, let's start a 4-minute timer. So a couple things we want to do while this is happening. We want to smell it because, you know, there's some unique notes that you can get off the coffee. Boom, 4-minute timer. Okay, so everybody put your nose down here by this coffee and just take a quick sniff. See if you can pick up any flavors, any scents that you might find familiar. Yeah, so definitely like some type of red fruit in there somewhere. I've cupped this coffee before, so I kind of know what I taste in it, but I'm curious to see what you all think. Daniel, this is your first time doing a cupping, man. How is it doing all this stuff to a coffee, bro? Like, does it feel weird?
Man, I didn't know it's a work of art.
Yeah, bro, it is. And when we talk about coffee being black and bold, the point is to actually do the work of paying attention to what is in the coffee. And that's one of our values, not just with coffee, but with people. We believe God has made each person unique, and it takes work and effort to really take the time and care and attention to see what's going on the inside of a person. Like literally, this brother right here was just texting me his business plan. You know what I mean? For what he wants to do. That takes time. If you want to get to the heart, to the true notes of what's going on, you got to sit down, you got to clear the table off, and you got to really get down with yourself and spend time with yourself and your creator and see like, okay, what is in here? What do I have to say that's unique to the world, right? And that's going to take effort once you kind of get an idea to really communicate those things clearly, or as we say in coffee, dial it in, right? It takes time to dial it in. But this process right here is not for something we would serve to a customer or to the public or to the community. This is just for us to know what's going on the inside. You feel me? So that cupping is not just a process that can be helpful with coffee. I think each of us need to kind of cup ourselves, right? We need a community to come around and say, what's unique about you? What gifts do you have that nobody else has? What's some stuff you probably need to stay away from? Because that's not you, my G. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to get that a good idea, which is another reason why I like cupping in groups, right? When you're cupping by yourself, it's kind of this process where you can trick yourself. But when you're in a community of people, we can all come to a consensus, right? And I think that's not only an element in coffee, but that's an African value, period. It's like communal value building versus a very individual mindset. So cupping is something that we hope as we bring this into our community can not just be a thing for nerdy coffee stuff, like I'm coffee nerds, but it's something that we hope can be really helpful for people in general, right? As we build in our community and our young men and young women, like how do you dial into what's going on in here, right? If coffee is unique and is created by God, how much more unique are people, right? How much more special and, you know, yeah, bro, it's a good question to think about. So what we looking like on the time right now? 1 minute left, okay? When we do this, I'm just gonna walk y'all through. This is what we call the hood slurp, okay? So you pick up a spoon, pinkies out. Don't put it in there now, right? You gotta have some self-control, but you pick up a spoon, You press it through the crust and then press back, okay? So you press back, and then as soon as you do that, you want your nose down there to sniff it up. You know what I mean? Almost time. Let's see how we looking in the comments, bro. We got any questions? What my guy say? Yeah, fam. So next month we are going to cup again. My goal is actually everybody who's in here is gonna have this coffee we're cupping. If the homies like it, you guys are gonna have this, and I want to cup this with you all to think about what are the flavor notes that we get in this, and then the flavor notes that we decide on are gonna be the notes that we actually put on the bag. So I'm excited to kind of build this out with you all. It is time for the hood slurp. Okay, here we go. Boom. So pinkies out. Got this joint ready. What y'all smelling?
Oh, rich. Yeah,
It does.
it is like a rich.
Yeah, it smells hood rich. Now this right here is kind of like, this is an expert move that we about to do, right? Like, so what you're gonna do is you want to take this and essentially do a scoop. I ain't gonna cap, that was kind of whack. But the goal is you want to get all this foam, because this foam is basically just air bubbles, and you don't want to bring these air bubbles with you when you taste the coffee, because they're just gonna taste like air, right? And we actually want to taste the coffee. Actually, when you're tasting air bubbles in a liquid, it can actually taste kind of sweet and like sugar.
No, it's more of a bitter taste to it sometimes.
No, air generally tastes kind of sweet, which is why if you've ever had nitro coffee tastes inherently sweet, because they've added air bubbles or nitrogen bubbles into it, which kind of give a level of sweetness. That's also why when you foam milk in a cappuccino, if the person foams the milk well, the milk will actually taste a little sweet, because the bubbles are basically creating a sweet flavor, like that extra air. Okay, boom. Let me wipe it down real quick. So y'all just ain't got no spills. It's just me, huh? Yeah, these dudes over here extra precise with it. Okay, so you just need one spoon at this point. You can set your other spoon to the side. Boom. You want to get you some coffee and just get right here on the top of it. Okay. Now we're gonna put our pinkies out and we're gonna slurp. And the purpose of the slurp is really to put it over your whole palate or all of your taste buds. What y'all tasting? Yeah, bro, there's definitely a chocolatey vibe.
So when I first tasted black coffee,
Yeah.
I was always like, man, I don't get it. Like, what am I tasting? What am I missing? But when you're teaching the slurping technique, you get to actually get a good experience. Instead of, oh man, I just taste a bitter.
That's the black and bold point. Is people burn the coffee and they do it in order to make it noticeable and help them start their day and get progress. But in that process, if you don't preserve some of the light in the coffee, you lose all the light. There's no value. There's no clarity, right? And so, yes, we want to be bold, but we don't want to be burnt, though. We don't want to be burnt and bitter. So that's kind of one of our values. It's like, yes, we want to be bold, but we want to be loving. We want to be kind. We want to have space for forgiveness and space to taste the notes, right? And not just dominate everything with just boldness. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's definitely smooth. Now, earlier, y'all kind of said you smelled a red fruit. Do you taste any red fruit in here at all? Like, let's see, you could do strawberries, tomatoes, cherries, raspberries, pomegranates could be another one. I taste a little acidity. I'm kind of biased again. I've already cupped this. But when we were cupping it earlier, we tasted what I said was like kind of like a cherry Jolly Rancher vibe. Like a little bit of a cherry. If you've ever had like that cherry on your ice cream, you know what I mean? But there's a little bit of that tartness from I don't know. It's a good question. Well, we're going to do one more round. This time we're going to brew the coffee, see what we taste. And if the homies agree with it, and as the coffee cools, actually you'll taste some other flavors too. We're going to brew this one more time. We're going to do a couple songs from the homie HD. We can switch over to him on the camera. We're going to clear the table, and then we're going to do a live brew on V60 and talk about a little V60 recipe, let everybody drink it up, and then we'll get to the last part, which will be Q&A for today. Boom, boom, boom. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments too. Make sure you let us know where you're watching from. Like the video, subscribe. That all helps us kind of build and grow in the algorithm. But yeah, I really, really can't wait for you all to taste this coffee. Like, it's gonna be crazy. And we're excited about it. The story behind it is bananas too. But we'll get into that after another short set from the homie HD. We're gonna clear the table off and get into it. Yeah.
Yeah, ain't talked to mama in 2 months now. I can't take the drama, it's too much now. Yeah, so I'm smoking on the screen and it seems like I need to be clean. This next line is probably gonna shock you. I was truly thinking about going to see a doctor, but nah, bruh. I'm trying to live conscious, meditate, elevate, but I feel like I'm haunted. And all they say is, man, we proud of you, too. But what it mean when you ain't proud of you, too? I mean, what's 100,000 with you, too? When you feel like you is not allowed to be juju. Best friends gone, stab me in my back. Lied into my face and stole from a nigga stack, that's whack. No complaining, I'm just saying. Bro, that's said, yes, it's running in. I just need a little bit of life right now, yeah. I don't really feel alive right now. Hey, I just need a little bit of life right now, yeah. Cause I don't wanna see the light right now, yeah. Just woke up, tired as fuck. Sick and tired of being sick and tired of trying to look up. I fuck up every time I'm trying to hook up. This shit is complicated, I feel like my mind's inflated. I'm not afraid to tell you I'm in pain. To tell you about the shit beyond the frame, beyond the games. I don't feel like I can fight right now. Lord, I need a little bit of
Yeah. Okay. We back, baby. Thanks for rocking with us. Shout out to HD3 on the vibes. Listen, my homie we're gonna have the last 2 mixes from the stream available for download. On the site, I think I'm gonna put it up too on your. If we can fit it so you can put it on your SoundCloud. But man, this dude does some amazing things. The notes that this brother brings in the mixes, yo, it's just unique. And I'm honored to be able to have him, you know what I mean, in the blends that we put for you guys together. So definitely unique, definitely flavorful. You're not gonna catch that anywhere. You know, when I hear my guys' mixes, I feel like I'm drinking, you know what I mean, like an Ethiopian geisha or something. Like it's rare, very rare. You know what I mean? You know? Yeah. So about to brew some coffee for the homies. And while we're doing this, I want to talk to you all about a really cool opportunity that we just came up for with the company. So look, check this. As we've been thinking about like sustainability and not just kind of like being so bold and so momentous that we don't have any sustainability, right? Income wise, we try to stay away from credit. We do stay away from credit. And so because of that, we have needed to kind of think about, okay, long term, what is our financial plan going to be, right? So for us, one of the things that we've always kind of done, especially with hip hop being the element of how we kind of bring the whole brew together, we've always participated in collaboration. So even right now, this is a collaboration with Section 9, the homie Matt Majors. This is actually where the idea for Gucci Mane came from. Shout out to the homies for swinging through. Yeah. Anything y'all want to say to the people before you dip? Yeah, new merch. All right, yeah. Thanks for coming through, bro. Yeah. So yeah, we collaboration is just key, right? So in that light, we are now going to start announcing something called the 1616 collaboration roast. And I'll talk to y'all more about kind of the heart behind that. But what that means is you are going to start seeing a lot of new coffees from us with some of your favorite roasters. So actually that mystery coffee that we brewed earlier, that coffee was a collaboration with Onyx Coffee. Now look, y'all can't be going around telling people this. Onyx is one of my favorite roasters. They're in Arkansas. You cannot tell anybody. If you're in this stream right now, you can't tell anybody about the fact that we're doing this collab. But the coffee we're collabing with them on is going to be an Ethiopian Baridi, which is a natural coffee. And y'all know I love my natural Ethiopians. Gucci Mane tends to be washed, but this joint is going to be natural. And I'm really excited about this collab. I've been tasting it. It's crazy. I brewed it up for the homies. I think I kind of over-extracted it when I brewed it. But I want to ask, what y'all think about that coffee I served y'all this morning or when we got started?
First one?
Yeah.
It was a little, might be me, but it was a little, I think you say over. I thought it was a little under-extracted.
I feel like I agitated it too much. I don't know. I brewed it this weekend. The joint was crazy. But I also had third wave water, which is, if you've been following me on IG, like I'm kind of in between how I feel about third wave water. But the coffee this weekend was crazy. I think I slowed out on the brew today, but I'm gonna make them another one after we finish and we can talk about, actually, we really should cup it. So that way, the way that I brew it and the ratios is not gonna affect the taste. And that's one of the reasons why people cup coffees, to figure out how it tastes, because the bowls are all the same size, so everybody's getting the same ratio. The water is in contact with the coffee for the same amount of time. There's not really room to kind of mess it up with a variable, you know what I mean? And so that's why we do cuppings. And I'm really excited because we're doing this collab with Onyx, and it should be dropping in October. Now, we're not only doing a collab with Onyx, we're also currently cupping, well, this is 2 of like 6 different coffees. One of these is a geisha. One of these is a Guatemala Tamba HB experimental hybrid. And these 2 coffees are like, they sent us like 12 samples. Among a bunch of coffees they sent us are with Dark Matter in Chicago. So that's 2 collabs. And there's one more collab we're working on with the homies in Chattanooga. at Mad Priest Coffee, and if you've been following kind of coffee news, you know that Yemenia is a new family of coffee that's been discovered in Yemen, which if you've seen our African Gold shirt, you know that's one of the places where coffee had one of its most important and pivotal starting places, right? That new origin just went up for auction, and Mad Priest got some of it, and they want to collab with us on offering some of that to the public. So that's 3 new collabs that'll be coming out toward the end of the year. You guys are gonna get first dibs. So anybody who's in the Brew Culture subscription box, you're gonna get at least one of those coffees each month for the months that they're available. So in addition to Gucci Mane, I know right now you all have the Walichu Wachu, and the homie told me it was slapping, which I appreciate that. Shout out to you in the comments. But we're also going to have these coffees available to the public with these collabs that are just crazy. But I want to talk about V60 real quick. Can we go to the overhead mic? Okay, so V60 is one of my favorite ways to brew. And what I'm using right now is called the Hoffman method. So I have 35 grams of coffee. I'm gonna pour around 75 grams of water for a bloom. And generally, Hoffman will advise that you swirl. I'm gonna do a little agitation and swirl. And then rinse off right here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. And the purpose of the swirl is that a lot of people will say if you swirl, you get kind of a more even distribution of the water. Right now you see there's a little clumpiness because I agitated it. But wait about 30 seconds. And then we're gonna go for 70 to 60% of the overall yield of the coffee within the first minute and 15 seconds. So somebody in the audience tell me, what is 35 times 16? 35 times 16. No, 35 times 60. No, do 35 times 16 and then multiply it times 0.6. And then multiply that times 0.6. 336. So I'm trying to get to 336 before 1 minute and 45 seconds. Speed up just a little bit. Quick math. The reason for that is because you want most of your water to get in contact with the coffee within like the first 2 minutes of your brew. And that's because when you're extracting coffee, like when the water is sitting on top of this coffee, the particles that break down first are going to be your sweeter particles. And I want most of my coffee to be that with a little bit of bitters to kind of bring a balance. Not bitter like apple cider vinegar bitter, but bitter as in just a balance to the sweetness, right? Acidity, kind of that like tart flavor. So I'm gonna pour, and I want to be done by 2:30. You said 560 total? Yeah, 560. We going to 560. Okay, here we go. $5. We hit 560 on the dot. Yeah. Okay, look. 560 point. I owe somebody $5. Drop your Cash App in the comments. I sent you. Boom. Okay, I'm not gonna touch it. Looking for a flatbed. Hit me with that top shot. Yo, what is this track? Somebody wants to know what the track is. That was at 351. It's unreleased. Oh, that joint was unreleased. Okay, hit up HD3 in the comments or on IG. You can holler at them about the mix, and we'll make this mix available, you know, for people. I don't know. We got to talk about what people need to do. Maybe sign up for your email. I don't know. Yep. But I love seeing the homies' businesses grow. Like, it's crazy. So look, right now, I ain't trying to brag, but this bed is pretty flat. You know what I mean? You can see the overhead situation. It's a pretty flat bed. It's pretty flat. Woo! Ooh, bro, you got to show him this. You got to show him this, bro. This joint is so clean. Show him the overhead joint. Okay, look. Look how flat this is. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Can you all see how flat that is? like people talk about flatbeds. The purpose of the flatbed is really just so that there's an even extraction of the coffee over the water, right? We don't want to have too many times where the coffee and the water are not able to be in contact with each other. So if there was coffee grounds kind of like looking like the Rocky Mountains over here, then we would have an uneven distribution of flavor or of extraction. So right now, the mug is pretty flat. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's pretty flat. So I'm gonna pour this for the homies. This is the same coffee, and I want to tell y'all the story behind this coffee. So the story behind this coffee is pretty crazy, right? We were in Atlanta, and I realized one of the homies, my Eritrean friend, Jonathan Gebreamlak, I think I got the pronunciation right. His uncle is a coffee trader. Jonathan and his dad own a coffee shop in Dallas called Trestele Coffee. We've purchased coffee that they bought from their uncle, who's a coffee trader before. But I had never purchased directly from their uncle because we were in Atlanta. Their uncle's in Atlanta. I'm like, hey, let's connect, let's build. I hit up the uncle. He has coffees, but the place I have to drive to get the coffees feels like I'm going to a drug deal. So we go to the back of a storage unit, and he's in a white van and is like, follow me, right? So we follow him to the back of the storage unit, opens up the doors. It's a couple different It's a legal drug deal. It's a couple different spots. So he has just coffee stacked on stacked on stacked on stacked. And the reason why I bring that up is because in Africa, coffee is not just industrial, it's communal, it's cultural. And so it's not all mechanized like we would expect if you're westernized, right? It's something that is like, you treat it like anything else in life. It's not this special side thing. So I go in there, he got a bunch of coffees, and this coffee right here was a coffee that is a grade 1 Gucci, washed from Hambella, sourced from the homie's uncle, only paid in cash. Only paid in cash because that's all he would accept. And I got it from his homie's gas station's ATM that I had to swipe my card in 3 times. So it was a crazy experience, to be honest. When I got the coffee, I was like, yo, this coffee has to slap. The story is too amazing. And so this is it brewed. We finished up right at about 3.5 minutes on the brew. Homies, you could come and get a cup. Get yourself a cup so you can taste how we tasting right now. Yeah. Okay, boom. That's you. Boom. Boom. So you get that chocolatey taste initially, which we kind of talked about when we cupped it.
Mm-hmm.
There's like I say if you're from Chicago, it's like a Portillo's chocolate cake shake. You know about that?
What the hell? You went all the way to Portillo's?
Yeah, bro.
Damn.
Yep. Can you drink out of this? You wild, bro. All right.
I'm joking, bro.
Okay.
And this is again the
Washed Hambella.
The washed Hambella. Okay,
Yeah.
This is the one I did not try.
She gotta get that hood slurp going.
Oh yes.
Pinky's out.
Bro.
There's definitely baker's chocolate. It's like the unsweetened baker's chocolate, you know, like that you use for like OG
like a
chocolate chip
Hershey's.
cookies.
Yeah. Big chocolate mousse. As it cools, you'll get a little bit more like fruit acidity. This,
Hey, dude, I do that all the time.
bruh, do it. Now you gotta do it, Daniel.
I was joking, man.
It's probably a little hot though.
That's
if you don't
not
take the whole
sanitary,
thing.
man. That's not.
I'm not drinking out of that again.
There's a cup. Daniel, there should be another cup.
It's all good.
Here we go. No, I got you. We can't leave Daniel out. Boom. Yeah, here we go. Boom.
I'm gonna raise my.
Yeah.
Like the raisin box smell. Like there's raisins. It's like an oatmeal raisin cookie, but without the sweetness.
I want you to taste this with us. So next month, we're going to send you a bag of this, 12 ounces of this. You tell us what notes you get. I taste Cherry Jolly Rancher Portillo Chocolate Cake Shake. My guys taste raisins, Baker's chocolate, oatmeal, cookies. So I want to know what you taste. We'll make a group or a decision together as a group.
Yeah, I can taste the raisins.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this with y'all. So look, that's pretty much it for the stream today, you guys. We had that big announcement about the 1616 collaboration roast, which I'll get into more next week. Hopefully we'll have some packaging to show you. We got coffee collaborations with Onyx, in addition to a collaboration with Mad Priest, in addition to a collaboration with, what's the other joint? Also with Dark Matter in Chicago. Next week, we're going to have my homie Steven Zinnerman from TCE Coffee as a guest on what we're doing. And we're going to be talking to you about a concept called Black Like Me, which is also the second topic or the second song in the album. And it's interesting. We're releasing a podcast next week with Steven that gets into this first idea of West African coffee varietals, specifically indigenous West African coffee varietals. A lot of coffee was brought during the rush for Africa back to Africa from East Africa. So colonizers took it from Ethiopia, Yemen, and then and a lot of times even Brazil, and they transplanted it over to places like Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda. But in West Africa, those countries I mentioned were in East Africa. In West Africa, it turns out there's recently been discovered some indigenous coffee plants that have been growing there thousands of years and are fairly uncultivated. So you know that in Ethiopia, this goat herder named Kaldi, who's from the Oromo people group, fell upon the plants in the wild, the coffee cherry in the wild. Apparently, there was no Kaldi in West Africa, right? So there wasn't this huge cultural rush. It's just something that some people enjoy, but it didn't become a global phenomenon. So it's really interesting. Steven is an environmental scientist, and he's going to be diving into some of the information he's found in grad school research as he writes a paper on the topic. And of course, we will rap the Black Like Me song first and talk about some of the connections. One of the really interesting things about one of the particular varietals in West Africa is that the fruit itself is black, like a blackberry, and it's black, like me. So really excited to get into that with you all. Stay tuned next month, and please tune in to the podcast that we drop on Monday so that you all can catch information and kind of hear the first part of our conversation and be ready and caught up for when we do part 2 next month. Last thing is that we're excited to get these subscription boxes out to you next month. They'll be shipping in the next 2 weeks. We do need some people. I'll send a message or an email to you all in the Facebook group. Because there's a couple things that we need to update to make sure that the subscriptions are active. But other than that, y'all, I'm just excited to have been able to vibe with you. Before we dip, are there any questions that you all have for us? Any topics or things you want to dive in the future? Next week, next month, in addition to Steven being here, we're going to have one of the homies come through and do a pour-over exhibition. And this homie is someone, y'all know him, Omarion. He's been rocking with us for a minute. He did the AeroPress pour-over in the Memphis collab. And then we're going to talk to him a little bit about kind of what is his vision or opinion about coffee culture as he is someone new kind of getting acclimated to what's going on. So thank you all one more time. We got a couple more vibes.
Been with me since I was a small fry. And your ex-man, that's my little guy. I know some that'll kick him to the coastline. I'm on west side, we on show signs. You got some fake friends, they just told lines. Text, I reply, baby, till my phone die. You know he lied if he said he don't lie. Once again, you know that I'm never too proud to pay. It's hard to admit that I made mistakes. And you know I'ma always wish you the best. Look, roll inside the Benz. I fucked up once and I got to spin. It's hard to admit that I made mistakes. But you know I'ma always wish you the best. Compensating for your feelings. Do you know the feeling? This is what you thought we're feeling. But it makes you feel it. Try your best, you thought we're chilling. When you grow to feel it, how they climb and cold like spirits.
Bad baby, front and back baby. I heart for heart and spirits in the class, baby. I toss it up and pour it out the glass, baby. I tripped it up, I dove it up, I ran it up, that f***ed it up. Like an orange, I'm in the door, like that it up. I swear the state it means and my credentials up. I told her I got my knees up these rags, baby. This song get harder, goosebumps, rags, baby. I'm scoring by the 3 Steve Nash, baby. A couple million feet, all cash, baby. I eat a little cheese and a rash, baby. I eat a little cheese like snack, baby. The orange and black seats, F it up. 5 leaf clover, better look. Don't you ask, do I know? Never yuck. I've been fly in the belly cut, yeah.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess any superhero need a theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. The system broken, the schools closed, the prisons open. We ain't got nothing to lose, mom. We rolling. Mom, we rolling. With some light-skinned girls and some jelly rollers. And this white man world, we the ones chosen. So good night, cool world, I see you in the morning. I see you in the morning. This is way too much, I need a moment. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Till then, the world's ours. It's a nail in the whole cast. Tell him easy said. More specifically, they can. I'm a drugs. You sure my house is Napoleon, my furs is Mongolian, my ice brought the goalies, and I embody every characteristic of the egotistic. He knows he's so gifted. I just needed time alone with my own thoughts. Got treasures in my mind, but couldn't open up my own vault. My talent, creativity, purity, and honesty is honestly being crowded by these grown thoughts. Reality is catching up with me, taking my inner child. I'm fighting for custody with these responsibilities, and they entrusted me as I look down at my diamond encrusted piece.
Hollywood's bleeding, vampires feeding, darkness turns to dust. Everyone's gone, but no one's leaving. Nobody left but us. Trying to chase a feeling, but we'll never feel it. Riding on our last train home. Dying in our sleep, we're living out a dream. We only make it out alone.
I got real love. I got real love.
I'm 2 real 3 true. They fake, see through. Lot of folk faking the feeling. I just wanna be a real one,
I
yeah.
got real love. I got real love.
I'm 2 real 3 true. Yeah, they fake, see through. Lot of folk faking the feeling, yeah. I just wanna be a real one, yeah.
I remember thinking back on the days, had each other back, everyone safe. I remember all the childish ways, running crazy with the smiles on her face. I remember when things changed, people switching up for clout fame. People changed, they clothes changed, they name changed, and then things changed. But I wasn't in it. Me and my folks, we kept it a tenant, always keeping it a G. Even if the people leave, they was never meant to eat. Real life show rats, they was just round for the G's. I remember all of them phony baloney me. I remember perpetrators smelling like it's turkey bacon. I'm a sucker, you mistaken? My bleeding undertakers. G check me for my statement. You can never catch us faking. Driven family innovators. All of us older, we kicking. Making it past 21. Elevate each other placement. Now we sitting at the table, knowing that we all made it. Tripping.
I got real love. I got real love.
I'm 2 real 3 true. They fake, see through. Lot of folk faking the feeling. I just wanna be a real one,
I
yeah.
got real love. I got real love.
I'm 2 real 3 true. Yeah, they fake, see through. Lot of folk faking the feeling. Yeah, I just wanna be a real one, yeah.
You phony and you phony, I'm good. I run with the realest ones. I ain't never seen somebody swear they real up and down all day and never come. Like, hey, what they do that? Yo, I've been real, no cap. I'm trying to make